let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's see, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays, happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umar Rusanda Amadou. Tonight, I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes, the High Court sitting in Hohoe dismisses the petition against the election of John Peter Amewu as Hohoe Member of Parliament, bringing to an end the over 3 years of legal battle involving the non-representation of people in the Central Kofi Akpafu, Likpe and Lolobi enclave, known as SAL. Also coming up, with barely 5 months to the next general elections, government moves in to recruit 15,000 nurses who have been unposted despite having finished school years ago. And later on Eyewitness News, opposition NDC launches its national campaign in Tamale over the weekend. We'll give you a flavor of what happened. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Banking industry's non-performing loans surged to 24.1% in June, up from the 18.7% recorded in June 2023.
That's in 50 minutes from the City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including in the Upper West region on Tongsun 97.3 FM in Wa and Jirapa 96.1 FM in Jirapa. We are in the Upper East region on Tanga Radio 93.7 in Bolgatanga. We are in the Northern region on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM in Bimbila. In the Volta region, we are on Revival FM 99.3 in Tajevu. If you go to the Ahafo region, we are on Hames Radio 106.5 in Gosu. In the Ashanti region, we are on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Western region, we are in Takrady on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky Power 93.5 FM. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Just look for Citi FM and you get the proceedings happening here live. You can join the discussion by sending your messages to 0549 986 996. That's the WhatsApp number, 0549 986 996. Alternatively, you can go on Twitter, now known as X, and send your messages there. My handle is at Umar Rusanda. You can also send to at City973. And the world will hear what you think. Let's settle for details of our stories. And the first one has to do with the parliamentary petition, or the petition against the election of a member of parliament. Hawa.
The Hohoe High Court has dismissed a petition challenging the validity of the election of John Peter Amewu as Member of Parliament for Hohoe on grounds of lack of jurisdiction. Approximately 17,000 voters from the Central Kofi, Akpafu, Likpe, and Lolobi, that is the Sa Enclave, comprising 13 communities, did not participate in the 2020 parliamentary elections and are without representation in the 8th Parliament due to the carving out of the Oti region from the Volta region. 5 residents from Sao petitioned the High Court in Hohoe to nullify the parliamentary election that resulted in John Peter Amewu becoming MP. Representative of the petitioners, Dr. Joe Adai, said they are disappointed in the judgment.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We can now go on the sound table and listen to Joe Adai, Dr. Joe Adai. He's the lawyer who represented the petitioners in that case that was seeking to nullify the election of John Pierre Amewu as MP for Hohoe. Let's listen now.
More of a disappointment than justice being done. Because, if you look at the whole issue, somewhere in 2021, precisely on the 6th of January 2021, the Attorney General took this very case from Hohoe to the Supreme Court for interpretation. And it was there it became very clear that CI 128, which was supposed to have amended the 95, 95 is the CI which had SAL communities inclusive. Meanwhile, Article 11.7 says that anything that becomes law in Ghana must be laid in Parliament same day and gazetted same day. So here we are. We have the CI 128 laid in Parliament somewhere in July, according to the evidence of the CI 128, and gazetted in gazetted in August, when Parliament had already risen. So this is a clear act of disregard to the rule of law, because what does not exist in law cannot be taken to the Supreme Court for interpretation. So I don't understand why 128 should go to the Supreme Court, because in the first place it was not gazetted first day it was laid in Parliament.
So that's Dr. Joe Adai. He's a representative of the petitioners who challenged the validity of the election of John Peter Amewu as MP for Hohoe. The man who represented the MP is Benedict Kofiche. He's joined us on the line. Counsel, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
I noticed that the case was dismissed on technical ground, which is lack of jurisdiction, not necessarily the merit of the case. Was that what happened, or the merit of the case was determined, and then there was also an issue of jurisdiction?
It was not determined on its merit. It was not dismissed on its merit, but on technical ground, as you have noted. It was based mainly on the fact that the court declined jurisdiction based on the stipulations of Article 131 and 2. That's the combined effect of Article 131 and 2 and Article 2.1 and 2.
This state that parliamentary elections, if you have a challenge, you petition the Constitution says if you are a challenge against the election of a member of parliament, the petition should go to the High Court. For the presidential, it goes to the Supreme Court. Now, this petition is proper in the sense that it was challenging the election of a member of parliament. What went wrong with the jurisdiction issue then?
Well, if I should read to you, or maybe bring your attention to what the stipulation of Article 131 is. Actually, though they might, actually in the reading of the ruling, as you are rightly canvassing, Article 91 stipulates that in matters parliamentary, the challenges of parliamentary elections, you could go to the High Court. But when you proceed to the High Court and other matters of interpretation come into the picture, the High Court will not have the jurisdiction to proceed. Article 131 states that subject to the jurisdiction of the High Court in the enforcement of fundamental human rights and freedom, as provided in Article 33 of this Constitution, the Supreme Court shall have exclusive original jurisdiction in all matters relating to the enforcement or interpretation of this Constitution. B, all matters as to whether an enactment was made in excess of the powers conferred on Parliament or any other authority or person by law or under this Constitution. If you look at the case of the petitioner before the court, the crux of their case is that the enactment, the CI 128 C119, which constitutes the reason for which the SAR areas were excluded from the Hohoe constituency. According to the petitioner, these laws, which are subsidiary legislations which were duly laid before Parliament, were unconstitutional.
Okay.
Now,
I just wanted to get something quickly clarified. Often when there's a question of interpretation of the Constitution in any case at the lower courts or the court lower than the Supreme Court, the matter is held or stayed while that particular issue is litigated and the Supreme Court making an interpretation or pronouncement on that. Did the petitioners or your sides at any point propose to the court for this issue to be dealt with at the Supreme Court before you continue with the case, or this did not come up at all? Because I would assume that presume that that's what the logical thing that should have happened. What went wrong then?
Well, we have to know that beyond matters of interpretation under Article 130, 1 and 2, the court also took the view that the release before the court, that is, to set aside the election result declared by the officer of the first, if I could get that clear for you, the release are the setting aside of election result declared by the Electoral Commission on the 7th day of 2020 and the subsequent notification of the first respondent of the second respondent as an MP-elect, and an order of injunction restraining the second respondent from holding himself out as an MP-elect for Hohoe constituency, and an order directing the first respondent to conduct parliamentary elections for the Hohoe constituency, enabling duly registered voters in the said constituency as established by CI 95 to vote for parliamentary candidates of their choice. Now, these are the reliefs being sought by the petitioners. The question that arose is that there are enactments based upon which the elections were conducted, the manner in which they were conducted. Now, then, given this relief being sought, the court is of the view that the setting aside of these enactments being attacked by the petitioners is a condition precedent for the grant of the reliefs. So the question that arose is whether or not the High Court has a jurisdiction to set aside subsidiary legislations that were duly laid before Parliament. Of course, these legislations were duly laid before Parliament. It has become a law of the nation made by the Parliament. The question is, has the High Court jurisdiction to set aside these subsidiary legislations duly laid before Parliament and by extension, or to serve as a condition precedent for the grant of the release being sought? Of course, the court was of opinion that no, its hands are tied. It hasn't the jurisdiction to set aside these laws, which should be done as a condition precedent to the grant of the release of the petitioners.
So why wasn't this escalated to the Supreme Court? Apologies, I've lost Benedict. He's lawyer for John Peter. I'll try and re-establish connection with him. Let me speak to George Ani Bansa. He's spokesperson for the petitioners who went to court. Mr. Bansa, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Apologies, I've lost Mr. Bansa as well. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, in Accra. My name is Umaru Sandamadu here with Hawa Idris. So let me bring some of your messages and then we'll try and go back to the phone lines. Eko Ochir in Shai Hills says the nurses to be recruited must necessarily vote against this WIG Akufado government. I'm not sure what WIG. Oh, WIG. He defines it as wicked, insensitive, greedy. Okay. They have been disrespected and mistreated. Akapo Jr. and Hafomim says the case against Vitameu was just for the spectacles, as the petitioners knew right from the beginning that their petition had no jurisdiction and lacked legal substance. The court should have even granted the MP an opportunity to go unopposed as a way of compensating him for loss of precious time and resources. Okay. Next message, Jones Aduboy Inla says, good evening, Umaru. I just can't think far. Even with my common knowledge, I can tell there was everything wrong with the decision. You can't hide this judgment in any technicalities. Please, let's be careful. The court is our only source of hope. Ghanaians are not angry now. Let me go back on the phone line. I think I have Benedict Kofiche back on the line. He's lawyer for Peter Amewu. Sir, do I have Benedict? Benedict, can you hear me? Hello, Benedict, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mr. Koficha, great. You were making the point, and I was asking why the matter was not escalated to the Supreme Court at the point that it got to the issue of interpretation. I'm still not clear on the answers that you were giving. If you could just clarify, please.
The question you asked relates to the dictates of Article 2.1 and 2, and the dictates of Article 131 and 2. But I'm answering that it is not, the decision of the judge is not limited to the provisions of this article, which may require reference to the Supreme Court. That is why I went on the tangent explaining that another issue for determination was that whether the High Court has the jurisdiction to set aside those subsidiary legislations that were duly laid before Parliament as a condition precedent for the grant of the relief being sought by the petitioners.
So the petitioners' lawyer perhaps did a poor job in not staying the proceedings for that particular issue to be dealt with?
We wouldn't say so. The issues are intertwined. At a point in time, we can be looking at the provisions of Article 2.1 and 2, playing it alongside the dictates of Article 131 and 2. But beyond that, it is the provisions of these articles that I've just mentioned that may require reference by the High Court to the Supreme Court. But I've just also stated that it goes beyond that because there were issues raised during trial as to whether, it became clear that the relief being sought by the petitioners could only be granted if those subsidiary legislations being attacked as being unconstitutional are first set aside. So in the ruling of the judge, he realized that the High Court will not have jurisdiction. The High Court has no power to first set aside those subsidiary legislations duly laid before Parliament as a condition precedent to proceed to the grant of the relief being sought.
Okay, now what this means...
The matters regarding jurisdiction goes beyond the dictates of Article 2, 1 and 2, and Article 131, 2.
What this means, sir, is that technically the decision on whether John Peter Amewu was properly elected has not been determined by the court, which means that that main issue is yet to be litigated, and it can only be litigated if there's a fresh petition respecting the appropriate jurisdiction of the court. So for now, it has been thrown out, and that's it. Is that the end of all the SAL cases that we know of in the courts?
That is so. That is the end of the SAL case before the court which gave judgments today. Since it is not on merit, the petitioners may still have an option either to appeal against the decision if they believe that the court has jurisdiction to properly entertain this matter, contrary to what the judge has written. They may appeal against it. If the appeal court finds favor,
very well.
The petitioners claim that the High Court can entertain, they can come back to the High Court.
Very well.
If it doesn't find favor, then it means that they may have to proceed to the right forum, which in the opinion of today's judgment should be the Supreme Court.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. But that last part would then mean that the constitutional provision that says petitions emanating from the election of a member of parliament should go to the High Court would also then be nullified, because if you're going to the Supreme Court with a petition for a parliamentary election, that's also a bit confusing, isn't it? So it's almost like a quagmire, legal quagmire for these petitions.
Laws are not interpreted in isolation. You have to interpret one law. You have to read the Constitution as a whole and look at what other provisions are saying. We do not just take a hold onto one of the constitutional provisions and then believe that that is what must work. Now, of course, we have laws that say that petition, what they call election petitions relating to parliamentary elections will go to the High Court. But there are other provisions, as we have stated, 130. It depends on what is being canvassed, even at the High Court. We may proceed rightly to the High Court for the examination of proceed rightly to the High Court for grievances in respect of parliamentary elections to be determined.
Very well.
But other issues may come in which may be subject to constitutional interpretation relating to other constitutional provisions.
Very well. Thank you so much.
We cannot say that because the ruling has gone the way it's gone, we will say that law stating that petitions relating to parliamentary elections will also be cancelled. No, we can't say so.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Most welcome.
That's Benedict Kofiche. He's lawyer for John Peter Mewu in that election petition brought in the High Court sitting in Hohoe, relating to the representation of people from Central Kofi Akpafo, Lolobi, and Likpe. George Ani Bansa speaks for the petitioners who went to the court. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you, Omaru.
The case, I don't know if you could kindly turn down the volume on your radio set in the background. It's really giving me a terrible feedback.
I think it's okay now.
If it can go off completely, I would be grateful, so we can have a meaningful conversation. Or if you can move away from the radio, fine. Or you can move.
Yeah, I've moved away from the radio.
Okay, so I've just spoken to the lawyer for John Peter Mewu. The overall effect of what has happened today is that your petition has been thrown out, and this is because you went to the wrong court, technically, with the issues that you took to the court. What's your reaction as petitioners in this matter?
Thank you so much, Omaru. It is just unfortunate that a lawyer will speak the way he spoke. I think you asked some questions to the effect that if petition for parliamentary elections is supposed to be adjudicated by the Supreme Court. And the Constitution clearly states it, that it is only the High Court that has jurisdiction over a parliamentary election. So that was the right forum we went to. Now, what he, as a lawyer for Mewu and the EC, were trying to push the court for some time before the ruling today was that the case should be referred to the Supreme Court. On what grounds? On the grounds that Article 128 that they are talking of, there was a time when we filed our petition around the 6th of January, and we were seeking for an injunction on Amawu. When we went to the Supreme Court, this case came up, and it was somehow because Supreme Court says we have not invoked their jurisdiction, so they did not fully adjudicate on it. Now, so we should go back to Hohoe High Court for Hohoe High Court to adjudicate on it. That is why the whole issue of that very thing came. Now, that very CI, if you look into it very well, as Dr. Dai previously said when you played his voice, it was not gazetted as per the laws and the rules of Ghana on the day they laid it. And Parliament as well was not even in session before they said they have gazetted that CI. Now, you were the one that interviewed, I've forgotten who exactly did that on which radio station, interviewed one of the EC officials, and there was a confusion there where they admitted that the time that they were pushing for that, Parliament was not in session, so they couldn't do that. And their press statement also states that categorically that was not done. So which CI are we now going to adjudicate on? And if there should be any confusion, what I know is that if the law gives confusion, that is where we go back to Supreme Court for Supreme Court to give interpretation. But as he he gave attorney to him when she's at lectures, she represents him. But the lawyer for the petitioners is the venerable lawyer Atichi Kata and Philip Jumo.
Thank you for that clarification. So you are going to file the notice of appeal tomorrow, you say. Which court are you going to?
We need to go back to the High Court, the whole High Court, before if they will be to be referred to the appeals court if it's referred to. I hear that is the law. I don't know much about that. So that's the instructions I was given by our lawyer.
So Chachichikata has advised that he would appeal for you in the High Court tomorrow.
Exactly, tomorrow.
But
we need to give the notice. Then the notice will now be taken to the appeals court. Then the whole thing will be done in the appeals court.
I see. Now, the next question would be, to what point you wanted to have representation because you are not currently represented and you think that the wrong person has benefited from your votes, right? Or your non-voting. That's John Peter Amewu. So Peter Amewu is not necessarily your target. Ultimately, you just want to have a representation in Parliament. Is that not the case?
Yeah, that's the case.
Okay. There are 4 to 5 months to the next election. Considering the pace at which this case proceeded, you've done more than 3.5 years before a decision has been made, which decision did not go in your favor. You're going to start a fresh appeal tomorrow. To what end? Are you likely to get any, justice in your... let me not use justice. Are you likely to get a favorable decision or a decision favorable to you, which will result in you having a member of Parliament before December 7, you sure?
Having a member of Parliament before December 7, I am not too sure about that one. But I tell you that it will be favorable to us because I believe, excuse my language if I didn't say it well, I believe that the people of Star are being fooled. What is happening today, I can tell you on authority that they cannot have their member of Parliament even if we leave this case down. Because what has happened was that gerrymandering to get Peter Amewu elected. They have succeeded.
Alleged gerrymandering.
Not alleged. I am saying it on authority that it is gerrymandering.
No, you can't say it on authority.
As a politician, okay, fine. Alleged gerrymandering.
Good.
I agreed with you, Omaru.
Yeah, so they've created a new constituency. You believe it is to favor the MPP. That's fine.
Which CI was used in creating the constituency? Have you seen it? Have you seen the CI, Omaru? Have you seen it or heard it? There's nothing like that. They are only playing politics. This is why I'm saying that it was only gerrymandering. They are only playing politics with the people of SAR. That's the truth. You see, if we should be doing this, in Ghana, as our judicial system will be doing this in Ghana, a lot of people will be, me, today, I'm telling you the truth, I was so disappointed in the judiciary. I was getting disappointed even when the party took the case to the Supreme Court. I was disappointed, but today has gotten me more disappointed because I feel that justice is not being served to the right people. If people
because for you, justice must only be justice if it goes in your favor, right?
No, not at all. The question is that if somebody's human rights have been trampled upon, a whole set of 4 traditional areas is now there in Ghana not having representation in parliament. And somebody would tell me he is declining because of jurisdiction when the constitution has given you the power to adjudicate on that issue. Omaru, is it right?
But the constitution also bars him from interpreting the constitution, which he cannot do. And so if he says that's outside my remits, I can only throw it away.
That is what he has said. So let's go to the appeal and see what comes out of the appeal. If the appeals court or whoever adjudicates on it will also agree with him, then that is fine. Because if somebody has been elected and you did not even say anything about his election, if it is right or wrong, if the people that their human rights have been trampled upon, if you didn't say anything about their human rights which has been trampled upon, then there's a problem that we have in Ghana. Seriously.
Moving
you
into...
and I are not safe. That is why we need to clear this government of power so that Ghana can be reset again.
Moving into election 2024, what do residents... Okay, do you have a guarantee that you would vote? I know the Guan district has been created. There's a Guan constituency, which covers the Central Kofi Akpafo, Likpe and Lolobi areas. Are you very certain that you can vote this time around for a president and a parliamentary candidate?
Omaru, I can tell you for a fact that Sal will not vote for parliamentary.
Why?
I can tell you. That's as it was done on the eve of the election in the 2020, on the 6th of January 2020. Just as it was done. It will not be that Sal voted in presidential, but never voted in parliamentary. The same thing is going to happen again.
Where are you getting this authoritative statement from?
Because of what has happened.
No, but what's happening in court? But what's happening in court has no bearing on the future, does it? It's on the past.
What happened on the 5th of December 2020? That they gave it's not executive fiat from the EC office that the SAL was not going to take part in the parliamentary election, but only the presidential election. So that one, looking at it now, and as you and I talk today, the SAL constituency has not been created. I've just asked you something. You are a seasoned journalist. Check if there is any CI in parliament creating the SAL, the Guan or whatever they are calling it, constituency. Check. There's nothing. Nothing like that.
So you are likely to be without representation again.
I am. That is what I said. You should excuse me of my language if I didn't say it well, that they are fooling the SAL community.
But if you know now that you do not have a possibility of voting for a member of parliament in 2024, why don't you, put all your energies on getting representation in 2025 rather than quote and unquote, and I use this word advisedly, wasting your time on the past?
It is not wasting at all. This case would have opened the door to the creation of that SAL constituency or giving the people the passage to vote. But what it is now, they have rather closed the door and put another door to it, which we need to open these 2 doors before they can vote in the parliamentary elections. They can vote in presidential, but if these 2 doors are not opened, they cannot vote. That's the truth of the matter, Omaru.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you so much.
That's George Ani Bansa, his spokesperson for the petitioners in that case that has been dismissed in the High Court sitting in Hohoe today. which was seeking to nullify the election of John Peter Amewu as MP for Hohoe in relation also to the non-representation of people living in Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll return with more. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Gugomi, at what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make I feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
One of the best decisions you can possibly make at the start of your day is to tune in to the City Breakfast Show. Insightful, intriguing, intelligent, and informative. The City Breakfast Show offers an attractive alternative to the noisy mishmash of morning radio. Tune in to the City Breakfast Show for passionate discussions on issues that matter and enjoy interviews where duty bearers and decision makers have their feet held to the fire. The City Breakfast Show airs from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday to Friday, only on 97.3 Citi FM.
Are you a builder, contractor, or homeowner with a passion for quality? Look no further. At Yale, we pride ourselves in trusted security and quality hardware for doors. Visit our showroom on 11th Lane Street in Accra, Ghana, and discover the world of Yale door hardware handles and locks. At Yale, we understand your need for security and the desire for elegance. Our products not only protect your loved ones, but also add a touch of sophistication to your home or business. Whether you're renovating your space or crafting a new masterpiece, Yale is your trusted partner with a history of 180 years of innovation. Come on down to Yale today. Experience the perfect blend of security and style with Yale. Yale, where security meets style.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. The minority in Parliament has described the government's decision to start processes leading to the recruitment of 15,000 nurses and midwives as a political gimmick. The caucus says the government, as part of its campaign strategy in 2020, opened recruitment portals for the recruitment of nurses, midwives, pharmacists, and other healthcare workers only to give them appointments with effective dates starting in the year after the election. Addressing journalists, the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Minta-Akando, advised health workers to be cautious of such last-minute tricks.
Although this comes as a welcome news after several unanswered calls on government to recruit qualified healthcare graduates into the Ghana Health Service, the minority is of the view that recruitment should be, at the very least, a predictable annual affair that feeds into a broad framework of consistently delivering quality health service for Ghanaians. Per records available to members of Parliament, government has not opened the portal for general recruitment since 2020. And to all intents and purposes, this current opening is nothing more than an electioneering strategy to deceive graduate nurses who have had to suffer, in some cases, 4 years of unemployment to re-elect into power a government that, if elected, would wait another election cycle before opening recruitment portals into the Ghana Health Service. This political gimmickry with recruitment into the Ghana Health Service has precedents which can easily be cited. In the first term of President Akufo-Addo's government, of which Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was the head of the economic management team, general recruitment of health workers, especially nurses and midwives, was deferred to the period spanning November 4 to November 15, 2020, a few weeks to elections as part of the broad campaign strategy. Once voted into office, health service graduates had to suffer a similar fate of waiting for 4 years to be recruited into the Ghana Health Service, resulting in a poor healthcare delivery service owing to a high attrition of highly skilled healthcare workers, with that replacement from 251,527 in 2021 to a low of 182,233 in 2023. The human resource management of Ghana Health Service under this government has been nothing but abysmal, to say the least. Payment of nursing training allowance in most cases were non-existent, with some cohort of nursing training being owed as much as 27 months and counting. For those who graduate and embark on their rotations, allowances meant to sustain them during their rotational service is predictably delayed for months after the year-long rotation without reason or explanation. In 2020, this government, as part of its campaign strategy, opened recruitment portals for the recruitment of nurses, midwives, pharmacists, pharmaceutical doctors, and other health care workers, only to give them appointment with effective date starting in the year after the election. This year's recruitment is limited to nurses and midwives, raising concerns about the welfare of other healthcare workers who are currently unemployed and waiting for government to recruit them into the service. The minority would therefore want to advise all graduate health workers not to be hoodwinked by these last-minute political gimmicks, tricks, and machinations into believing that recruitment will be handled better going forward. The minority therefore calls on graduating health workers and those who are currently in school to choose a government that will implement a robust annual recruitment strategy that ensures timely and consistent employment of healthcare professionals instead of once in 4 years partisan campaign recruitment that leaves health workers disoriented, unconcerned, uncertain about when they will be employed.
Kwabena Minta-Akando is ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament. Let's still stay with the Minority Caucus because they have petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice (CHRAJ) to investigate what they describe as an equal and unfair recruitment into the Ghana Immigration Service, Ghana National Fire Service, Ghana Police Service, Ghana Prison Service, and the Narcotics Control Commission (NACOC). They argue that the purported recruitment by the various security agencies and NACOC violates the Constitution and amount to a flagrant abuse of power. The ranking member on the Defence and Interior Committee and Member of Parliament for Busa North, James Agaoga, says the security agencies should halt the recruitment process until a determination of the petition by CHRAJ.
The issue at stake is about the intended recruitment into the agencies under the Ministry of the Interior by the said ministry in a manner that is opaque, in a manner that is very secretive, and in a manner that frowns upon the Constitution of the country and the CHRAJ Act. CHRAJ is the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice. And as a responsible minority group, we found it necessary to petition the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice after we had held a series of press conferences to decry the conduct of the Ministry of the Interior with respect to the intended recruitment. I recall that in one of our press conferences, members of the media asked us questions. You demanded that we furnish you with evidence of the intended secret recruitment. At the time, we told you that our sources were very, very credible. But when the Minister of the Interior started talking, he did not deny that they were about to recruit into the services. What he, however, said was that they intend to recruit from a backlog which was created due to the inability of the services to absorb all the numbers, over the period, when adverts were made. But contrary to what the minister had said, we managed to furnish you with evidence from the police service in the form of a press release which clearly contradicted what the minister had said publicly. And the press release of the police service was to the effect that, so far as the police service is concerned, they had concluded with recruitment into that service for the 2021-2022, recruitment period. And therefore, if anybody was in doubt that when we posited that there is nothing like a backlog and that this backlog theory was nothing but a creation of the MPP government to shortchange the youth of this country, then the press release by the police service speaks volumes. After the press conferences, we have realized that the ministry is still bent on proceeding with their secret recruitment. So, faced with these scenarios, the Minority Caucus decided to petition the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, which has the mandate to ensure in law and under the Constitution that the recruitment into the public services is done in a structured manner, in a balanced manner, taking into account regional balance. And most importantly, to allow for access, equal access to all in terms of recruitment into the security services. In fact, the Constitution actually talks about the public services. And the police service, all the agencies under the Ministry of the Interior form part of the public services. But specific mention is made of the police, the prisons, and, the fire service. So the point is that Shiraj has the mandate to ensure that there is equal access to all when it comes to recruitment into the security services. And the point is, how can you guarantee equal access to all if the recruitments are not advertised with the eligibility criteria clearly spelled out? That is why we have found it necessary to proceed to Shiraj, invoke the jurisdiction of Shiraj to ensure that justice is done to the youth of this country who are about to be shortchanged. You see, so Shiraj has the mandate, under the Constitution and under their act. That is why we have decided to invoke the jurisdiction of Shiraj. So the petition you see making the rounds on social media is real. We signed it. My colleague, Honorable Peter, also signed it. The majority, deputy minority leader, Amabua, also signed it. So it is our deed and we stand by it. We pray and hope that whilst the petition is pending before Shiraj, the government will not resort to conduct which can overreach the petition. If they do that, you can understand that there will be dire consequences because they would have flouted the Constitution and, in fact, the Shiraj Act. Finally, I need to emphasize that the minority is not against recruitment of the youth of this country into the security services. All we are saying is that the processes leading to the recruitment must be transparent, fair, and just, in order that the youth of this country can have equal access to the security services. There is no room for manipulation here, whereby only party tax and goons associated with the MPP are the ones who can be recruited into our security services. If we allow that to happen, we'd all be in grave danger, and that is what we are fighting against. Not the recruitment of the youth into the security services per se. So thank you very much for granting us audience this afternoon.
Ranking member on the Defence and Interior Committee and Member of Parliament for Bolton North, James Agalga. The Works and Housing Minister, Kojo Nkrumah, has cautioned contractors on the Kaneshi drainage expansion work under the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development, that is a GARID project, to adhere to the stipulated schedule for completion. Phase 1 of the project is expected to be completed in 12 months, while Phase 2 is expected to be completed in 14 months. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Kojo Nkrumah urged the contractors to enforce high safety standards while implementing the necessary measures to reduce traffic congestion in the area.
As we know, Kaneshi is a very dense area in terms of population. It's also a very sensitive commercial space. And so the alternative routing, etc., needs to be done in a way such that commercial activity can go on while the work goes on. And then the alternative paths for access, etc., are well laid out. Also, particularly because it's a population-dense place, safety is something that is of a big deal to us. You know that we've just set up a Works Inspectorate division here at the ministry. And so we'll be following up on safety, places where you have to hoard, places where you have to have signage so that people don't get injured, whether you're workers or pedestrians or market women, etc. These are things that you have to pay attention to. Thankfully, in terms of funding, we don't have a challenge, and so we expect you to work with speed in accordance with the standards that we've set.
Kojo Nkrumah is Minister for Works and Housing.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Google me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Attention, facility management professionals. Get ready for the event of the year, the IFMA Global Africa Conference in Ghana, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium, hosted by the International Facility Management Association's Ghana chapter. This is your chance to meet the world's top FM experts, thought leaders, and innovators. Immerse yourself in groundbreaking keynotes, interactive panels, hands-on workshops, and unmatched networking sessions. Explore the future of facility management in Africa's booming built environments. Don't miss out on the epic gathering of minds and ideas. The IFMA Global Africa Conference, August 1st and 2nd at the UPSA Auditorium. Be there. Proudly sponsored by Fides Group. To register or to sponsor, please call 0558 368 544.
Yeah. We have a new leader in town. Obiarenti. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal pack with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Details of our stories now. Progress made in Ghana's banking industry post-DDEP could soon be reversed due to a consistent increase in non-performing loans. The rate of bad loans has jumped from 18.7% to 24.1% as of June 2024, with only a marginal improvement in credit to the private sector. But how concerning are the elevated risks to the funding squeeze and recovery of the banking industry? There's more in the following News Desk report.
The rise in non-performing loans means that loans that customers may not be able to repay to commercial banks have hit 24% on a year-on-year basis. This development will hamper the provision of credit to the private sector in the coming months. Although there were improvements in most of the core banking sector indicators, the industry faces a looming threat from deteriorating asset quality. This is happening at a time when banks in the country are consistently rebounding in profits and adhering to the Bank of Ghana's recapitalization plans. The main concern is how the substantial bad loans will affect the profitability of banks and the overall stability of the banking sector in the long run. Banks must therefore begin working to improve their poor credit underwriting systems to reverse the rising trend of high non-performing loans. More specifically on other indicators, private sector credit grew by 17.6% in June 2024 compared to 16.1% growth recorded for the same period last year in nominal terms. However, in real terms, the contraction in credit to the private sector moderated at 4.2% compared to a contraction of 18.5% recorded in June 2023. When it came to the capital adequacy ratio without regulatory reliefs, it improved to 10.6% at the end of June this year from 7.4% a year ago, but remains below the pre-debt exchange levels. With reliefs, however, the ratio held steady at 14.3%, providing a buffer against potential shocks.
That was a News Desk report by Ni Lati. Management of the bulk oil storage and transportation company BOST has been advised to take immediate steps, including legal action, to recover some 59 million cedis owed by 44 oil marketing companies in margin levies as of December 31, 2022. This directive is part of the 2023 Auditor General's report, which revealed the significant outstanding debt owed to BOST. The following News Desk report has more.
The review of procurement transactions disclosed that management procured goods and services worth about 800,000 Ghana cedis from 5 suppliers or service providers and accept tax clearance certificates with identical serial numbers. These TCCs were issued by 4 different taxpayer service centers, each bearing the same serial number but different issuing dates. The report recommends that management investigate this irregularity and report any culpable companies to the Public Procurement Authority and the Ghana Revenue Authority. It further suggests applying sanctions under Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act 2003 to officers whose negligence resulted in the infraction. Similarly, the report noted that management paid about 1 million Ghana cedis for goods and services, which included a VAT component of about 146,000 Ghana cedis. However, it identified that the suppliers or service providers issued VAT invoices from the same booklet. The report recommends that management pursues the suppliers or service providers to provide evidence of VAT payment of about 146,000 Ghana cedis to the Ghana Revenue Authority. It advises that failure to do so, the amounts should be recovered from the suppliers or service providers and paid to the GRA.
Edna Agnes Poachi filed that News Desk report. The Ghana Union of Traders Association (GUTA) has welcomed the Bank of Ghana's maintenance of the monetary policy rate at 29%. The central bank has kept the rate unchanged in March, May and July this year. GUTA believes this decision will provide a buffer for businesses seeking loans from banks. Dr. Joseph Abin is president of GUTA.
It's very good, especially when we want to bring down inflation. And then the fact that one would have expected that the effects of the foreign exchange, the depreciation of the local currency, would have pushed inflation upward. So in this regard, I think it's in good state that it has been maintained. And we should make sure that we keep all policies to make sure that we are able to even bring down the inflation rate further down. Economic, so far as sustaining some of these gains is very good.
Dr. Joseph Obin is president of GUTA. The General Agricultural Workers Union GAU has criticized the government for the commercialization of genetically modified products, insisting it will not address the food security concerns. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Savannah Agricultural Research Institute, recently released the pod borer-resistant cowpea, the first genetically modified crop to be developed in the country for commercial cultivation. Reacting to the news, General Secretary of GAU, Edward Kariwe, said the introduction of GMOs will not address pressing issues within Ghana's agricultural sector.
Are we going to use the GMO to grow the GMO seeds in space when there is no irrigation to water the seeds, when galamsey has destroyed the farms, when we don't have inputs for farmers, when we don't have storage for farmers, when there's high post-harvest losses, when there's no processing industries to process food, and you are talking about GMO? Is that the solution? If it is a solution in somebody's country, that is not a solution to our problems today. Who is sponsoring the GMO? Most of it is funded from outside. What is in their interest in funding the GMO, cowpea, and all manner of that? It is for their own interest.
Edward Kariwe is General Secretary of GAU. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has indicated that the advisor appointed to manage Universal Merchant Bank Limited is making good progress. In March this year, Dr. Joseph France, a former head of the Financial Stability Department of the Central Bank, was appointed as advisor to the UMB to monitor its recapitalization efforts and governance reforms. Here is Dr. Ernest Addison providing an update on the bank's situation at a press conference in Accra.
The advisor has come back with his reports and we are studying them. I think they have also come up with a capital restoration plan, which the bank is currently evaluating. So the process is ongoing. Yeah.
That was the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, ending City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Kojo, I want to learn how to drive.
No problem at all, my dear. I will get Uncle Kofi to teach you. He taught my father and even me.
Bakojo pa, in this day and age.
Don't take chances when it comes to learning how to drive. Your best bet is Freight Masters Driving Institute. Freight Masters Driving Institute has qualified instructors who are dedicated to equipping you with the right skills for the road. Locate our office at Tema Community 5, adjacent Golden Chopsticks, or Tema Community 25 on the Deftraco Estate Road, Asaleboche, in the same building with Fidelity Bank, Westland, Hato, opposite Starbite Shell Filling Station, or on the Spintex Road, Aviation Highway Hydrophone Estate. Call us on 0303 973 388 or 0267 266 211. Visit our website www.freightmastersdriving.com. Freight Masters Driving Institute. Defensive driving with the right skills.
But of course, the most important issue in governance is the fight against corruption and accountability. If you don't want to be accountable, go and do your own business. Whatever you do in your business, nobody is coming to hold you to account because it is your own investment. But if you decide that you want to come into public service, then be prepared to be held accountable. And so I've said it and I'll say it again. For those people who have been involved in scandals and various acts of misappropriation in this government, this MPP government, we shall investigate you and we will let the law take its course.
The voice of former President and NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama in Tamale, the northern regional capital, speaking on Saturday at the launch of the NDC's national campaign. Readying itself for the elections of 2024. Members of the party spoke at the event. MCs for the day was Deputy Communications Officer of the party, Malik Basintali. He's joined us on the line. Malik, you're welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Sanda.
I said you're one of the MCs. That's correct, right?
That's right. That's right.
What's your from the organizer's perspective? What's your own assessment of your event on Saturday? Why the choice of Tamale, and would you say you met your targets?
First of all, looking at how the event turned out, I'll give the organizers an A1. I decided to exempt myself because I want to give credit to whom credit is due. The people who put together the program, Stan Dogbe, Joyce Bawa, Obobia Dako, and my boss, MJMF. I mean, all of them, the organizers, to the foot soldiers who came there in their numbers, I give them A1, and I thank God Almighty for making our launch a success, very successful. Now, why we chose Tamale? I think it's been simple. First of all, we chose Tamale because they are also voters in the upcoming 2024 election. We chose Tamale because everybody in the 5 northern regions will join Ghanaians to vote and elect who becomes president. But most importantly, we chose Tamale to show the entire country that Northerners are not divided on who to choose in the upcoming election. Northerners have made a choice. Northerners have decided that they will go with a man who has the northern regions at heart, who has the Ghanaian people at heart, who has done it before, who is tried and tested, and they would 100 times choose that person over a man who goes about lying, a man who hasn't done anything for the northern regions of this country, a man who came to the north only to lie to our chiefs, only to deceive them, and only to use northern projects as a conduit to siphon money from the state. And remember the recent Palugu irrigation dam project where $12 million has been doled out, and yet there's been no show there. Lots of other projects that have had their mobilization paid. I mean, the people of Yendi who came to the Jubilee Park told us that Baumia came to lie to them. He came to tell them he'll give them water, he'll give them an airstrip, he'll give them an university. He lied, and he hasn't done it. And the people of Yendi still remember how President Mahama asphalted their roads, how President Mahama constructed the Eastern Corridor Road, how President Mahama gave them some cheap compounds. The people of, the Savannah region still remember how President Mahama constructed the Fufuso Solar Road. You remember how President Mahama gave them an E-block at Mpaha, how he gave them an E-block at Daboya, how he gave them a hospital in Bipe, how he gave them a share nut factory in Bipe, how he gave them the Savas and the Diamond Cement in Bipe, how he gave them a polyclinic at Bamboy. The people of Tolong still remember how President Mahama gave them a hospital in Tolong. The people of Nyankpala remember how President Mahama gave them the Avnash rice processing factory there. The people of the entire northern region remember how President Mahama revamped the Tamale Airport of international status. And on that score, they have taken a decision that, look, they have tested 4 years of President Mahama. They have tested 8 years of Alhaji Baumia being the head of the economic management team, and not even a single project has Alhaji Baumia brought to them. And so, yes, a referendum was passed, and we went to Tamale to demonstrate that. And we think that for the first time in the history of this country, the Jubilee Park was filled to capacity. Anybody who saw the numbers there, I saw media men even struggling to get space to pass. I met a man, a media person, I'm on your station, so I don't want to disclose his channel. And he told me that, wow. He kept saying, wow, this is incredible. We've never seen this. And I said, of course, this is the North, and the North belongs to the NDC, because it is only the NDC that has remembered the North. Even from the days of Jerry Rawlings, we used not to have lights. It was the NDC that brought light to the North. We used not to have tarred roads. It was the NDC through Tesek, if you remember, that started constructing our roads in the North. We used not to even have good water. It was the NDC that brought water to us. And so in all these things, we still remember the good things the NDC has done for us. And we went to the North to demonstrate that. And we are certain that we have demonstrated that enough. On the 7th December 2024, we will demonstrate that in votes. And the MPP will never, ever come near any part of the 5 northern regions again, because they will know that it is not their territory and they have nothing to showcase within those territories. So that is the answer to why we chose the North.
I see. During the big speeches, one of the issues that came up was that you NDC folks are not going to sleep on December 7 all the way to December 8 or 9. You're going to keep vigil. What is your suspicion and how do you intend to cure that?
You see, when you're going into contest with another party that has got no message, sometimes you don't have to be satisfied. If we're going into an election where, look, we are all churning out policies, we are all moving forward, then we can be confident that our policies defeat them. But the NPP seems reluctant. Dr. Bawumia has 3 policies. 1, he says he's a Northerner, they should vote for him because he's a Northerner. 2, he says they should vote for him because he's a Muslim. And 3, he says that they should vote for him because he can do 8 years and John Mahama cannot do 8 years. Those are his 3 policies. So sometimes I ask myself, are these people really in contest? I mean, what is their end game? And so we are determined that we'll win this election with 3 things. 1, with our good track record. 2, with our policy statements that seek to find solutions to the problems of the suffering Ghanaian. And 3, that is most of all, is vigilance on the election days. We are not going to bed. If you listen to President Mahama on the stage there, at least we know that we are confident that, look, we have never insulted Kwame Nkrumah. President Mahama didn't do that. Prof. Nana Jane didn't display arrogance like the other one has been doing. President Mahama never lied like the other one has been doing. He went on board and he professed solutions. Yes, it is true. That is what the Ghanaian people want to hear. He gave them solutions to their problems, and the Ghanaian people believe in him because they have seen him do it before. That is not enough to win an election, because if you're in contest with an elephant, you should know that it takes so many bullets to bring it down. Some of those bullets will be vigilance. You have to be vigilant, you have to open your eyes, and that is why we are not complacent as a Ghanaian people. Yes, the grace of God is on President Mahama. Yes, the will of the people is on the side of President Mahama. But we must add vigilance in order to safeguard the grace of God and the will of the good people of this country. And that is what we are determined to do on the 7th of December, 2024, Sunday.
You have been accused of having no message either, and that the only message you have is 24-hour economy.
Oh, then the problem is that they don't really listen, and they have refused to tune into stations like Citi FM and the likes. All they do is to continue listening to Alhaji Bawumia. If you continue listening to Alhaji Bawumia, you get corrupt. President Mahama has professed setting up farming cooperatives in all districts where farming takes place, where we supply them with farm equipment so that farmers could get access to these products like we used to do in the free fertilizer distribution and the hybrid seed distribution and the cocoa program. You remember, we will do same again to all farming communities in this country. President Mahama has been speaking about the Women's Bank. He stated that, look, women need to get access to easy loans, women need to get access to soft loans and to expand their businesses so we could have a balanced economy. Just as he has chosen Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman as his running mate, who is female, we need to make sure that all other women are also developed in same light so they could benefit from some of these policies he's bringing on board. President Mahama has spoken about the 1 million coders. We seek to bring the youth on board and to ensure that all these people get equipped in IT. All these youth in this country, look, we are over 1.8 million Ghanaian youth are unemployed. They are seated in the house. The last time I was speaking, a very corrupt deputy minister told me that I was unemployed. And I said, of course, I, together with 1.8 million people, be unemployed. Why? Because Akufo-Addo has given our job to his daughter, Jane Nkrumah. You, the minister yourself, you've given the contract I would have gotten to your brother. And Bawumia has also copied people, and the job I would have got is giving it to Abu Ramadan, his in-law. The other job is giving it to Mr. Ramadan as ambassador to Saudi Arabia. The last job I would have got is giving it to his brother, Mumuni Ramadan. And the other job maybe my sister would have gotten is giving it to Laraba, his sister, as gender minister. And so you people have shared it. The national cake has virtually been turned into a family cake, and you are sharing it at a family house. Why will I get a job? But President Mama says no. Ghana is for all of us. He needs to equip the youth in IT. So 1 million jobs are coming on board. We're going to teach the youth in coding and also to help them decode and make some good money from IT. Sandra, you agree with me that the world is going, digital, and the world, of course, is gradually moving into an electronic world where we use IT. People are cashing out, making all sorts of monies over the internet. And President Mama thinks that, look, we can equip the youth and we can get them to do this. The GPRTU is a pension scheme. Sometimes you see a driver who has been driving on all these streets, and for how long it takes, when he finally retires, he goes into abstract poverty. President Mama says that should be a thing of the past. He feels the plight of the suffering drivers, and he thinks that he needs to set up a pension scheme for them. Look, President Mama is going to clear over 40 ministers and reduce his ministries to just 60. We have 60 ministers in the Republic of Ghana. Fantastic idea. And every minister, sometimes the government spends over 100,000 on a single minister. Imagine clearing 40 away. You saved over 40 million. Cutting down on reckless expenditure, we'll be able to create jobs for over 100,000 youths in this country and pay them 3,000 or 4,000 Ghana cedis a month. That is a positive policy for the people of this country. But above all these policies, this is an agenda, this is an idea, but it fits into being one of the major policies of President Mahama to ensure that the state anti-corruption institutions work. And if that works, we'll be able to save Ghana a huge sum of money. There's a lot that goes down the drains as a result of corruption. The NPP government has siphoned and still siphoning, especially in this last minute. The white man says last minutes are dangerous. Indeed, Akufo-Addo and Bawumia has proven to us that last minutes are indeed dangerous. They are siphoning and grabbing everything, a huge state capture. President Mama thinks that, look, upon assumption of office, we must investigate Akufo-Addo, we must investigate Bawumia, that 10,000 bags of salary rice, they finally shared our salary rice. It won't go down the drains. PDS, we've lost over $500 million as a result of Bawumia's corrupt practices, where he signed a letter starting a meeting that changed an insurance guarantee, a bank guarantee to an insurance guarantee, and ended up presenting fraudulent documents. We must get back to it and investigate it. Charles Edubwani, we must get back and investigate it. Pius Enam Hajide, a candidate for jail. We must get back and investigate it. Chinia, in the Upper West region, now he smuggled fertilizer on the back of a donkey. We must get back to it and investigate it. All these people are candidates for jail. And we were able to do that and recoup their money, especially in the National Cathedral. If we're able to arrest people and get them to cover the hole again and prosecute them, we'll save enough money to create jobs for the Ghanaians. So the MPP has refused to listen. All they do is to mount platforms, and we know that they are looking for a steer. We will give them the steer they need. But we are looking for an opportunity to provide sustainable jobs for the Ghanaian people through the game changer 24-hour economy. And so now to land on this, I met a Ghanaian youth who, after I was explaining the 24-hour economy, he kept looking in the sky and smiling. And I said, my brother, why? He said, I can imagine Accra in the night around 12 a.m. where the lights are on in the streets, it's so bright, and people are working. I said, can you imagine it? He said, I can't. He said, my brother, I cannot wait for a 24-hour economy. I said, my brother, it is possible, it shall be possible, and it would come on in 2025 when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the nation builder, the experienced man, takes over the helm of affairs as President of the Republic of Ghana.
It is possible is not your slogan, or you just used it. That's.
No, it's not. But even the man who says it is possible himself does not believe in the possibilities of
let me go on the other phone line.
That's not the slogan.
Let me go on the phone line. Malik, please be on the line for me. Malik Basintali, his Deputy Communication Officer of NDC. Let me speak to Haruna Mohammed, his Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Do I have him? Haruna, can I hear you? Can I hear Haruna? Okay, I'll try and re-establish connection to Haruna. Malik, if you can you hear me? Malik, can you hear me? Malik, can you hear me? Okay, I seem to have lost Malik Basintali as well. I would re-establish connection to the two of them. Stay with us. This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. On the phone lines. Haruna Mohammed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Good evening. The NDC launched its campaign in Tamale over the weekend. Did that shake you at all as a governing party? Looking at the numbers, they said that they filled up the Jubilee Park. The messages were well received.
Thank you very much, Umaru. Good evening to your charity, Jimmy. It did not move us at all. It did not even cross our mind that the NDC were doing something very monumental in the northern region. Remember, this is 16 regions that they were bringing together to fill a Jubilee Park, a park that we have reconstructed and put pavement blocks on them. So we were not moved because we know that we had done a lot of development projects within the Tamale enclave, and we were very sure that what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has done and the visit of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia still resonate very well with the people of the northern region.
Surely you should be concerned that all the things they said in their speeches, the promises they are making, they say that you promised heaven and delivered nothing close to that. They don't even trust you in the elections because you have no message. You are planning to rig the election, they say, and because of that, they are planning to keep vigil on election night through to the following night. As a governing party, you should be concerned about the largest opposition party saying these things about you.
Well, tomorrow they can choose to say what they want, but all that they have said in Tamale, the only promise they could give people of Tamale in terms of what they can offer if they have given him the opportunity to govern, that will directly benefit the people of Tamale was to build an abattoir. In all that they said, all the hours that they spent in Tamale at the Jubilee Park, the only thing the Tamale people, the northern people, could benefit was an abattoir to be built within the Tamale area.
An abattoir is important, isn't it? Considering the livestock.
The first abattoir to be built in Tamale was done under an MPP government. The current one that is existing. In all the years that the NDC has stayed in power, it has never crossed their mind to even say they want to expand the abattoir that we had built. So all that they could do was to say that. But to say that the people of the North are disappointed with the myriad of promises that we have given them, I seek to differ from them. Umaru, ask me why. If you check the performance of the MPP government in the northern region, specifically, let's come to where they launched their campaign. You look at this current government, what we have done. Since independence, it was the first time that we had the independence celebration even within the northern enclave, which the chief, the overlord, the king of that law was there to see to it that this very important event had happened. The first time that we were doing a very greater part of an airport system, the Tamale International Airport Phase 2 project, where we had the high bridge, which was stationed permanently, where we have inner city roads constitute about 5-something kilometers, where we have an expansion of a 4,000 meter square of an international airport that had arrival, departure for domestic and foreign, where we have an interchange that was constructed within the Tamale enclave. We had over 40 kilometers of road of carrying them, putting asphalt overlay on them within the Tamale enclave. Look at the number of road infrastructure we are doing from Tamale to Yendi, straight Yendi to Zavihibu, to Nachamba number 1, that is at the border in Tatale. You look at the road construction that we are doing from Karaga to Bushogu, from Karaga back to Tamale. You look at the road construction that we are doing within even Tolong constituency. Look at the district hospital we built in Tolong and commission it. Look at the district hospitals that we have built in the Savannah regions and commission it. We continue the Eurojust projects that was left. We completed all of them. We have made greater impact in the lives of the people of the northern region. If you check what Kufuor did, we still perform far better than the NDC. We built the Zabjibu Hospital. We built the Tatale Hospital. We built the Bimbida Hospital. We built a Karaga Polyclinic. We also came and built the Bushagu Hospital. We constructed inner schools for all the districts in the northern region where Kufuor was president. So when it comes to performance, lo and behold, the NDC has always got majority votes from the northern region, but we have outperformed them when it comes to development projects. And I can knock my chest as Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, the first woman to come from the northern sector as a Deputy General Secretary, that I am very much satisfied. And when I die and lie in my grave, I'll be smiling in heaven.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Haruna Mohammed, he's Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. Let me go and conclude with Malik Basintali. He is from the Savannah region. Malik, he's saying that even the Jubilee Park where you held your event was a park that they renovated. You spent the whole time there talking only about an abattoir for Tamale. That's the only thing you could offer the people of Tamale. They have opened so much and done so much, and he has gone ahead to list all of them. How do you react?
First of all, he wasn't listening to me when I was speaking. And so all the things I was mentioning, it appears he didn't listen to them. But let me just correct these lies he spewed. And I would have been glad if you had asked him some of the projects he was mentioning, how they commenced, where they got the loans from, how much the loan was, and how the projects came into being. You understand? So that we have a very factual conversation. He spoke about Tolong Hospital. If he's on the line, can you ask him for me?
No, he's gone. He's gone off.
I wanted him to know. The entire 5 hospitals, of which Tolong Hospital was part, was 89 million euros. And you know where we got the loan from? We had to go to the Raiffeisen Bank of Vienna to go and then get those loans. In 2016, when the loans were brought, they were supposed to construct 5 hospitals, the Tolong, Sola, BP, Weta, and Somenya. And those were done. So the Sola has a 60-bed hospital, BP has a 75-bed hospital, Bamboya has a 30-bed capacity polyclinic. And those were the contracts that were signed under the NDC. We took the loan. The engineer that undertook those services was called Vamed Engineering Group. These are the questions you should have asked him so that we tell him that he's lied. He doesn't know how they came on board. Okay. The Tamale International Airport, I thought he would have spoken about, the phase 1 and how it even came into being. In 2016, if you remember, President Mahama escorted the first batch of Hajj pilgrims to Mecca. Do you remember, Sanda? When President Mahama saw them off for the first time in the history of this country at the Tamale International Airport. If it were not an international airport, how would people have flown from Tamale straight to Mecca in Saudi Arabia? How would they have flown? And so these are petty things he needs to understand and stop the lies. Okay. He's learning so fast.
It's okay. Don't land on that. Malik, let me just move you quickly. What are you doing in Cape Coast next? Are you going to do another campaign launch, or you're launching your manifesto? What's happening in Cape Coast?
I'm so happy that you're asking this question because there are many people who even said our campaign launch was more like a manifesto exhibition. There are people who said, look, a campaign, they thought it would just be a normal rally. But it appears that people were churning out policies.
Malik, you have 30 seconds. I just wanted to have an understanding.
They learned on these things. And so in Cape Coast, we would go for the proper manifesto exhibition. People will know what the nation border has in stock for them. We are not going to Cape Coast to insult like the other one has been doing. We are not going to lie. We are going to show our manifesto to the entire world. We want 1.8 million Ghanaian youth to find hope in the NDC. We want unpaid contractors to find hope in the NDC. We want unposted nurses and teachers to find hope in the NDC. We want you media men who take a mega salary yet have to battle with high cost of living and high standards of living to find hope in the NDC. We want school children out there to find hope in the NDC. And all these people, including drivers and market women, find hope in the NDC through our solid manifesto will be presented to the people of this country.
All right.
I am certain and confident that coupled with the grace of God and the will of the Ghanaian people that will be bestowed on us, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama shall be president over the Lion One, over the very arrogant
Thank you so much.
Over the team that has been condemned.
Thank you so much. That's Malik Basintali, his Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC. Earlier you had Haruna Mohammed, his Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. That will be it for Eyewitness News tonight. I am Umaru Sandamadu. We'll be back tomorrow, 17:30 GMT.